I'm the cruise journalist Barry Vaudrin. In this series, we are featuring a transatlantic crossing on the Queen Mary 2 and contrasting her with the original Queen Mary. Let's get started right away with an interesting question for the captain of the Queen Mary 2. Captain Wells, can you explain the difference between a cruise ship and an ocean liner?
Probably four main differences, Barry. The first one is on the hull itself, and that is the ocean liner has a strengthened hull both in girder strength and also in shell plating, and that's to resist the hydrodynamic forces of the water passing over the hull out in the deep ocean. And the second one is in hull shape, and the ocean liner has much finer lines forward, which means that it takes longer along the length of the hull for the ship to reach its widest point. This allows the hull to cut into the ocean nicely and smoothly without slowing the ship down. It also reduces the tendency of the ship to react to a large ocean swell by pitching more. The cruise ships are wider further forward, and they have more buoyancy, and so as an ocean swell comes along, they tend to react violently and pitch rapidly. So the ocean liner maintains a more steady motion. And the weight of the ocean liner, it's heavier steel, makes it sit deeper in the water, so that it has more stability in the ocean swell. So then the third major item is the power. And the power is increased substantially. There's a reserve of power in order to maintain a scheduled speed. Because broadly, a liner is a ship that is maintaining a scheduled crossing between two ports. And then designed an ocean liner is maintaining a scheduled, we maintain a schedule across the North Atlantic. And then the fourth item is inside the ship itself. We know we're going to have days and days at sea, and we need to occupy our guests with things to do and space to roam while we have all those days at sea. And so the volume of the passenger spaces is increased, and you just have more space per passenger inside the ocean liner.
Traveling can sometimes be a little bit tricky, so it's always important to be better safe than sorry. So I would recommend visiting the website Travel Safe, because they have some great insurance packages, travel insurance packages, that will give you the assurance that if anything goes wrong during your vacation, you're going to be covered. Go to travelsafe.com. This is the Commodore Club aboard the Queen Mary 2. It's a very comfortable lounge to relax and look at the ocean over the bow. And it's a very similar room to the observation lounge on board the original Queen Mary. The observation lounge and cocktail bar on the original Queen Mary was divided into two levels in order to account for the rising camber of the deck, allowing for panoramic views over the bow and to the ocean. I have a great suggestion for you. The next time you travel on a vacation or a cruise, visit a website called Lugless. At Lugless, you'll find this great service where they pick up your luggage at your home and deliver it to the ship or hotel, wherever you're staying in the world. Make sure you visit Lugless at lugless.com. There's something very special about a transatlantic crossing, particularly aboard an ocean liner like the Queen Mary 2. There is an interesting dynamic to a transatlantic crossing that makes a crossing so much different than a cruise. For example, you're not in a port every day or every other day. On a crossing, there's a certain kind of an energy because the ship is on a liner voyage going from point A to B. There's a camaraderie on board where everybody knows they're going eastbound or westbound. So a transatlantic voyage is very, very special. So as an entertainment director, how do you make Queen Mary 2 passengers feel famous?
It's a very good question. Obviously, this is something that we're very proud of, that we give people that sense of travelling on the old ocean liner, and therefore being a celebrity themselves, in the same way that the celebrities were the ones that first started to cross the Atlantic, along with all the people that were immigrating. Really for the variety of not only their setting, the fact that when they look around, the size of the ship itself makes you feel very special. It makes you feel like you're part of something, but also because of the focus on things like the cocktail parties. We have cocktail parties virtually every night in which our guests are invited along to meet senior officers. They're wined and dined and treated very much in that elegant style, you know, of the kind of Art Deco 1920s and 30s. The ship itself, you know, echoes back to the days of Mauritania, Lusitania. I suppose if you look at the White Star Line, the great ships that sadly are no longer with us, like Titanic, was known so much for her beautiful interiors. The Normandy, these ships which were famous for their look, they're famous for the people that travelled on them. So when our guests come on board, when they walk through the bulkhead into the ship, straight away they get that sense of occasion, that sense of it being special. And beyond that, of course, White Star service. Cunard Line and White Star came together and were merged in 1934. And a part of that is the fact that we live by a series of credo points where we always try and give the very best in all that we do. And we call it White Star service, and we wear a White Star pin. So in our service from every single crew member, all 1,300 of them on board, we try and really give them the very best in service to make them feel royal in the way that we treat them on a day-to-day basis.
For extraordinary luxury and service, contact Luxury Only at luxuryonly.com. Be sure to watch part 4 in this special series called Two Famous Ocean Liners, filmed during a transatlantic crossing aboard the Queen Mary 2.